The future of robotics is not unique. I think in general, robots will take all the tasks which are for some reason not good for humans. Either moving around loads which are too heavy, or doing work in dangerous environment, nuclear environment, for example, great heat, but also work in space, for example, which is difficult to access, which is very expensive to access. And robots will do all the boring tasks, will do all the simple tasks in factories. So whenever there's just a simple handling or pressing keys or moving objects in a simple way, this will all done by robots. I'm fairly sure about that. We will see robots in the hospitals. Surgery will be done more and more by maybe not typical robots, but teleoperated systems with some autonomous functions like suturing, for example. There's no way other than that in surgery of the future. I'm absolutely convinced. And we see indirectly robots in cars. Automatic cars are more or less robots. And we see drones and automatically flying systems which are also robots. The most interesting field, in my opinion, is the personal robotic, the assistance of elderly and sick people, because there's a lot of social impact, what is acceptable, what is not acceptable. Do elderly people always need some person around them, or is it okay if they have a robot who serves them day and night without complaining? So in principle, I think that the personal robotic area will be one of the biggest in the future. Basically, I think one should let robot development just go on. So far, robots are not as intelligent as we have years ago proposed that they would be at this time. They are very powerful in automotive industry, moving objects around very precisely, doing always the same repetitive tasks. But they have by far too little intelligence. Sensors are not yet really installed everywhere. So there's a lot to do. But concerning any rules on how robots should behave, I think we have the biggest or the most important rule, the so-called Asimovs Law, that a robot never should do any harm to a person. This is very important, but also on the other side, very difficult when we look at autonomous cars, when we look at surgical robots. In these areas, a lot of errors occur caused by humans. People die because doctors make mistakes in hospitals. But if a robot is doing a task in a hospital, it should always be perfect. If a robot kills someone, then there is so much of discussion in the community. So I think there are rules given to the robot community which are self-understanding. You need no law for that. A robot should or must not offend or do any harm to humans. Now there are fields which are a little bit more complicated to discuss. For example, automatic drones, should they be allowed to look into a neighbor's garden or fly somewhere? These things probably have to be regulated. Also in traffic, if there's an accident, the legal topic, who is guilty, who has to be accused in case really something serious happens. These are still difficult questions. But other than that, I think one should let the field develop. Maybe in the future robots are so intelligent that We have to stop certain directions. As an example, fully automatic weapons, robots which decide themselves whether they shoot or kill someone, are very problematic, and there must be some legal regulations. That's a good question. We have developed industrial robots which are nearly perfect in their operation, which is repetitive, always doing the same thing more or less. We have too little progress in the area of adaptive robotics, which can recognize the environment, which can estimate collisions very quickly and avoid them, which can adapt to difficult situations. So the progress is fairly small, in my opinion. We even have the problem that when a robot has a vision system and the illumination changes, that then the recognition goes down. So very simple things, in my opinion, which should be already solved. So for standard robots, we have a good situation, especially in Europe. But concerning more intelligent adaptive robots and the new era of industrial robots, which will be the era of production assistance, smaller systems, robots without fences. They collaborate with humans. They must have physical interaction. They should yet do no harm. There the progress is fairly slow, especially what concerns robust systems which really work in a factory environment. And of course, for the personal robots for elderly care, we are still at the beginning, and this is sad because we have already 50 years of robot development and still have not yet systems available which can do reasonable jobs in the household, cook some simple meals, not cook complicated things, but just open some bottle or open some package and make something warm for elderly people. So this will be the next generation, I think, in factory as production assistants, as well as in the area of personal assistance. And of course, the other fields should go on, flying robots, more intelligent, carry more things around, and mobile systems anyway. So the areas will melt. Mobility will include manipulative tasks in the future, and to a certain extent. And so we need progress, and we will have progress in all of these areas.